Yeah, she pops up on TikTok, and she's got this little, she's black. She lives in a small town in South Carolina. And she's like, yeah, there's not a lot of stores there. Everybody knows everyone. And so she goes to this grocery store with her son. Her son is like 17 years old, and she has a 7-year-old daughter. So she goes to this grocery store. There was a young white woman in the front of the counter, you know, at the counter. And she said she's seen her before, because again, this is a small town. She goes there not too frequently, but frequently enough that she recognizes the young lady who's always working there. And she said she noticed that her face looked a little puffy, like she seemed full, you know, and her body also looked thicker. She didn't want to ask her, are you pregnant? Because, you know, a lot of mature women, we know that's rude. You don't assume someone's pregnant, so you don't ask. So she didn't say anything. So they get to, she buys what she needs. She says to the girl, like, hey, this is my son. You might see him in the future. Come in here. This is my son. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know him. I've seen him before. Again, small town. So she starts talking, and she's like, oh, yeah, you might not see me for a while because I'm actually pregnant. I am like 33 weeks pregnant. And she steps back, and she can see that she's pregnant. And she's like, oh, wow. And then she just blurts out, but I can't afford it, and I'm not planning to keep it. And she's like, oh, wow, that's unfortunate. What are you going to do? And the young girl is like, I'm probably going to leave it in the hospital. And then she's like, or you mean like you're going to put it up for adoption? And the young girl is like, yeah, probably. She's like vague because she clearly doesn't know what she's going to do, but she made it clear that she can't afford it and she's giving it up for adoption. Obviously, the black woman who has been thinking about adoption, you know, she's like, all these thoughts are going through her head, but how do you just bring that up? You don't say anything. She didn't know what to say. So she left. She goes back in her car, and her son is like, Mom, we have to help that lady. You know how it is. She's like, Mom, we have to help that lady. You have to get that child. She's talking about leaving it in the hospital. She doesn't want it. She can't afford it. You have to go back and say something. And like any reasonable person, she's like, you know, it feels weird. Like, I don't know this girl like that. How can I? So anyway, she goes home, she thinks about it, and she's like, you know, I don't know if God's talking to me. Is this my time? Is this, you know, I've been wanting to adopt. You know, I'm gonna go back to the store. So she goes back to the store, the grocery store, and she sees the young girl again, and she asks the young girl, would you want me to adopt the child? And the young girl is like, yeah, I feel like I've seen you enough. People in town know you. They know you're responsible. I think you would be a good person for my child, because there was actually a couple that was gonna adopt my child, but they, what's the word? They reneged, or they changed their mind, basically. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do, and if it's not you, I don't know who else. So that's pretty much how she got this child. I mean, she didn't tell us, or at least I didn't see the video, the details of how it works in South Carolina, but somehow she ended up adopting this little white baby. After she agreed, she asked the girl, like, do you have a doctor? Have you been having prenatal care? You know, what's been going on with your health? Is everything okay? And the girl is like, I think everything's okay, but I've not seen a doctor. I've not been getting prenatal care. So she was saying, yeah, people think like, oh, she just went and snatched this white baby when there's so many black babies out there. It wasn't like that. And even when she agreed, she said she also had a little bit of doubt once the girl told her that she had no prenatal care. So she made sure during the last like 3-4 weeks, because she went to term, that she took her to a doctor, got her established, because obviously she could afford it.
So this young lady was far along already?
Yeah, the young lady was like 33 weeks and had never had prenatal care. Yeah. But what's cute too is, of course, TikTok will bring you back to the page or to the story. I did see a small piece where she took a picture picture with the young girl or young woman, because the young woman, you know, wanted the opportunity to be able to see the baby every now and then. So, and she felt like she had no problem with that. So she says the girl comes by to see the baby maybe at least every other day. Which, you know, I was thinking about that. If I adopt a child, you know, sometimes there's the thought like you don't want the involvement of the other party.
That's that co-parenting.
Right, that co-parenting thing. Like, all right, y'all, so we're at a park. Jackie's here. I told her to dress casual. This is her idea of casual. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, the TikTok story of this black woman holding a white baby and trying to explain to the followers or people who are watching why she had this white child or how she ended up adopting a white baby. I guess, yeah, the point was that the mother of the child was very clear that she could financially not afford to take care of this baby. She was young, she didn't have her family support, and this black woman felt, you know, called to adopt a child, and it didn't matter, obviously, the race or even gender of the child. So the bottom line is the mother still visits, the biological mother still visits, and I wonder, how do you feel, or what do you feel about that? Like, imagine if it was you with your child. Do you want what others may feel like is interference from the biological mother, or are you okay with it? Because as the adoptive mother pointed out, you know, this is a young mother and postpartum depression is real, and she didn't want to just feel like she had taken away her child and she didn't have the option to see him again. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Kenton as the cameraman is all over the place. It is really hot out here, isn't it, Kenton? It is super hot. He's trying with the vlogging. I got him holding the camera.
Yeah, it's cute.
That's cute. Jackie just took a picture. My objective today was to get some cute pictures outside with Jacqueline, but also to get in our steps. So kind of a 2-for-1, and also to chat with you guys. So yeah, I'll show you the pictures at the end of the video. Anyway, it is such a beautiful space.
Flash on.
So this is where we're at, y'all. We're just gonna stop for a minute, chat, and then keep walking. Yeah, you guys, so it's super, super hot. In fact, it's like 102 degrees. Yeah. Even though there's shade, it's so deceiving because it's muggy.
Well, it's 102 outside of the shade, and then in the shade, it's in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so how are you doing over your neck of the woods? What's the temperature like? Drop that in the comments. I want to know, is it hotter than where we're at? So yeah, I was thinking about is it called the FIFA?
Oh,
the World Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup's going on. Who are you rooting for? It's been really interesting seeing all the different athletes from different countries. You know, you get that feeling of global solidarity, or at least the ideal of it, you know, and the pride that comes from all these different countries. And it just sucks how someone or someone's in our country is trying to divide people, right? I mean, I was just smiling looking at even the Iranian team, and I'm not even a big fan of them. I don't know, you know, much about them, but I was just thinking, look at the pride they're showing. Then there was like the Democratic Republic of Congo. Did you see their outfits?
Yeah, pack it up now. The Congolese team has won the World Cup fashion. Just pack it up, pack it in.
Congolese team decided to give you a fashion show at their arrival. I am here for it. I mean, slay, 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 slay.
And maybe that sounds very superficial, but I know the World Cup or sports just has an amazing way of uniting people, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like music. It brings people together. Even
Right.
when, you know, when it's done in sportsmanship,
Right.
So it's great. Good thing Mexico beat South Africa.
Right. That's hilarious. Also, another interesting thing, how so many Nigerians are supporting Mexico, which on the surface didn't make sense, right?
Mexico!
Why is Nigeria
Mexico!
supporting Mexico, and why are there so many Nigerians in Mexico? Well, of course, you realize that Mexico is playing or was playing against South Africa
Yesterday.
right? And so for that reason, Nigerians are like, today we are Mexican, okay? Because South Africa is doing all kinds of problematic things, and Nigerians don't feel welcome in South Africa. Obviously, there's been a lot of violence. There's been a lot of horrible things that have happened to Nigerians and many West Africans going to South Africa.
I think probably all of Africa is rooting for Mexico!
As Mexico faced South Africa at the World Cup's opening game, fans from across Africa were posting videos backing Mexico. Mexico won 2-0. South Africa is one of 10 African teams playing at the World Cup, but the country is facing a surge in xenophobic protests and vigilante violence targeting migrants from countries like Nigeria and Zimbabwe. The violence is fueled by false claims blaming immigrants for unemployment, crime, and strained services. Anti-migrant groups have set a June 30 deadline for undocumented immigrants to leave the country. Ghana, Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Nigeria have already evacuated hundreds of...
Where are you from?
We're Nigerians, but we live in England.
Nigerian? Yeah. All up in Mexico?
Today we're Mexico.
Mexicans today, man. Yes. Let's go, Nigeria!
Optimistic to see these different cultures and countries come together to celebrate. Anyway, Kenton, who are you rooting for?
Of course, I always root for a home team, United States. So, I like to see them get a shot. So I always root for the home team. Mm-hmm. Brazil's won. Mexico was very entertaining yesterday. So yeah. So they good. South Korea came out and they did their thing. So United States, I believe, is it's either today at 9:00.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think they're playing against Paraguay. So
where is Paraguay? I have no idea. Kenton says it's in South America. Okay.
I could be wrong. So anyway, so yeah, United States is going to play against them, I believe. I could be wrong too.
Right. Who are you rooting for? Or are you not a sports person? I mean, I'm not a sports person.
Yeah,
but...
another team is Vietnam.
Vietnam?
I think they got a shot.
What? A shot in what?
A shot of having a soccer team next year.
For real?
Yeah, no, they're not. Of course, they're not.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Vietnam in sports sections.
Yeah, no, Vietnam's sports.
What sports?
Olympics and stuff.
What sports are Vietnamese good at? Silence.
Martial arts. Yeah.
For real?
I think.
Well, I would assume maybe.
So.
What else? Any Vietnamese in the room? I'm pretty sure there must be some Vietnamese watching us. What sports are Vietnamese people good at?
I believe in world shooting.
World shooting?
Yeah, Olympics. Yeah, but yeah, it's a good question.
Hey y'all, so we found a place to sit down for a minute because like I said, it's super hot. But let me tell you what we're gonna cook once we are done with our walk. We're gonna head back and then go to the supermarket and pick up some supplies. I'm really excited about making a Haitian dish. I noticed you guys seem to like the last video with the fufu when I made the Nigerian food. So I think maybe, Boo, we could do a series of making or cooking food from around the world. And so the next one will be a dish from Haiti.
Well, Haiti is actually Haitian fusion because it's Mexico because it's tacos.
Right.
But it's Haitian inspired fried chicken.
Yeah, in a taco that's made from yuca.
Yeah.
America, if you're watching, you sent me the video a while back, but I also had the same video previously, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, we like the same things. So yeah, I'm gonna try to recreate that dish with the chicken and salsa and all the sauces.
So it'd be interesting to see how that turns out.
Right. So where next? What kind of food? What next would you like to make, Boo?
What next?
Yeah, what would you like us to try making? Something you've seen or craved and we've never tried about doing?
Well, I mean, we can try. You know what? We can try like like longevity inspired foods that are inspired from the what they call blue zones, where people have lived beyond 100 years.
Right.
And so there's Costa Rica.
Oh,
We got
really?
Costa Rica. Costa Rica's one blue zone. Another is
I was thinking Japan.
Japan is well, it's actually Okinawa to be specific.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Okinawa is another one, and then there's also in the Italy, in the Mediterranean.
Right.
That's one, and then interesting enough, Loma Linda, California.
Loma Linda, California.
Yeah, well, we can try Costa Rican because we haven't really done really a Costa Rican, so maybe kind of keep the theme. But it's kind of fusion because it's Costa Rican, but it's fused with some modern flavors. Community, if you have any notes, inspiration or challenges, you can give us a challenge too.
Yeah, feel free to give us a challenge. That actually would be fun. Leave in the comments something you would like us to make, something that you think we, can make, or that we would have access to the ingredients, but we've never shared on the channel. Something from a different culture. That would be nice. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see you tomorrow, Sunday. Hopefully, you'll be back Sunday to see us. And I know this was so random. We're like just walking, talking, random conversation, right? Kenton, anything else you'd like to say?
No, just be safe, take care of each other, be kind, and be compassionate.
And drink your water. My goodness, the way it's so hot, drink your water. Signs of dehydration. I can't help myself. I got to put in a little bit of medicine in there. Signs of dehydration. Obviously, thirst, dry mouth. If your lips look ashy, if your skin turgor is, minimum, you can pinch your skin together and it sticks. You're not drinking enough water. If your urine is too dark and, has a dark color to it, and you're dehydrated. If you're fatigued, constantly tired, you're probably, dehydrated. So go drink your water.
So if you're hiking or walking on a trail or in your neighborhood, stop and periodically pee. Make sure
you can pee,
you pee.
But when you get home, you're gonna
pee. So if you pee on your neighbor's lawn and it burns the lawn, you're dehydrated.
Or if you go for a long walk and you come back and you didn't pee, you're dehydrated.
It's more than dehydrated. You're severely dehydrated.
Right. Check on your elderly family members. Sometimes they forget to drink enough. They're not drinking. Or your kids.
Or they're drinking, but they're not drinking water.
Right. They're drinking other things other than water.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
H2O.
If you are drinking during the heat, you need to cut back on that.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be drinking alcohol in this heat.
Right, unless it's a Long Island iced tea. No? Okay, don't advise that then.
Okay. All right, y'all. Bye for real. Bye for real. Bye.
It's a little shady, but...
It's a little shady. Oh, the sun is this way, so you would have to...
Looks like...
You need me to know? Correct.
Yeah.